Today on What's Next.
It's amazing the pleasure I get from trying to help show people that freedom is not free.
The mission is really to help the kids navigate the real world.
She cares, like she's always gonna be by my side.
We would all like to lead happier lives, but how the heck do we get there? I give you Growing Boulder's Keys to Happiness. Hello and welcome to Growing Boulder's What's Next. I'm Mark Middleton. On today's show, we move forward by giving back. One of the greatest blessings of growing older is the gift of time, something that many people choose to use to help others through volunteering or other acts of kindness. And when you help others, you help yourself. Volunteering has been proven to protect our mental and physical health. It can reduce stress, combat depression, keeps us mentally stimulated, and provides a sense of purpose. Someone who has made a life by giving back to his community and his country is Irving Locker. Irving is now in his late 90s and still finding ways to serve those in his community.
Are you the hottest 98-year-old celebrity in the country today?
Could be. I don't know, but it could be.
Irving Locker just might be the most interesting man alive. At 98 years old, he's just about seen it all. He survived 5 major battles in World War II, including Battle of the Bulge and D-Day. And at 18, he became one of the youngest staff sergeants in all the Army. At 5'1", he may be short in stature, but boy does he have a huge heart, and not just back then, but even to this day.
I wear this hat, and a young man stops me. He says, I was only 5 years old when my father got killed in World War II, and I never had a chance to talk to him and see what it was all about and different things. And I said to him, well, here's my card. I have a lot of memorabilia that I brought home from the war. Come over and I'll explain everything to you, and I'll answer as many questions as I can to help you out and to talk about the war. I gave him my card. 2 weeks later, he called me on the phone. He says, you're not going to believe this. I found your name in my father's Army book. It was in my outfit, and I knew him very well. And we talked, and today they came to my home with his wife and children and just picked up that flag. His father signed that flag, picked up that flag and held it to their cheek and cried. And it's amazing the pleasure I get from trying to help people that way.
It's why Locker tells his story as often as he can at schools and civic groups, and when he speaks, word gets around.
It's an amazing situation. Since I've been in the newspaper as often as I am, and I've been on television, and I've been with the President of the United States, people have contacted me. I'm booked solid every single day to go to the different churches, to the different organizations. And I bring all of this material with me to show people that freedom is not free.
He's one of the few left who could actually tell us what it was like to storm the beaches at Normandy.
It's terrifying. It's absolutely mind-shattering to jump into that water. Now, you're talking coming off a Higgins boat where the door flops down, and you come into 5 foot of water. And at the time, I was 5'1", with a 3-pound helmet, with a 27-pound pack on my back, with ammunition across my chest, with guns, with everything else that we could carry, because everything you owned had to come in with you, otherwise it was no good. Can you imagine me jumping into 5 feet of water, not being terrified, not being scared out of my mind, and then coming to the beach?
Those experiences left scars, mental wounds that never went away.
When I lecture about the war, I'm fine. When I lecture about the Holocaust, I don't sleep at night. It's so terrifying in my head of what man's inhumanity to man, what they did to people, that it's unbelievable.
Locker believes he was able to endure because of his good upbringing.
Good upbringing? You were dirt poor.
Dirt poor money-wise, but very rich in loving goodness. We were so loving with our family that it was unbelievable.
Family is everything to him. After the war, he came home and married Bernice, and that was 74 years ago. But their love story also came with heartache, as both of their sons died untimely deaths. Somehow, he always seems to find a way to push forward, to move ahead, and to find meaning.
It has to come from within, and there has to be a purpose. And that's my purpose in life, to show people that life can be beautiful and life can be enjoyable, and you have to work at it to do it. You can't just sit back and take it for granted.
It's what makes him stand apart, his ability to bounce back. Even at 98 years of age, he's always been able to find a way to live with compassion, purpose, and joy.
I look forward to my life, I look forward to living, and I'm grateful. I talk about thanking God, but I'm so grateful to have come through that war and come through the businesses and come through all of the different things and coming through losing my sons and having my wife with me. I'm grateful for that. So it's looking at the dark side or looking at the bright side as far as I'm concerned. So I try to look at the bright side. And the people have to do that. People have to look at the bright side and not worry about what the past brought them.
And if you can do it,
everybody can do it. If you have the right attitude, you can do it.
Well, once again, it is not about age, it's about attitude. A man who has seen the absolute worst of humanity chooses to be optimistic and to see the best in others. At nearly 100 years old, Irving Locker is still giving back, speaking to churches and schools and organizations, reminding them all of the sacrifice made by veterans of World War II and ensuring that future generations never forget about the Holocaust and the horrors of war. You know, we all have something to give, something from our own life experience that can benefit others and give us purpose. A sense of purpose is one of the biggest keys to active aging. It gives us a reason to get up every day and to connect with others, a way to use our unique life experience. Your purpose doesn't have to be profound. It can be as simple as listening to others, fostering abandoned pets, volunteering at a local church or other nonprofit. You can watch more stories of volunteers just like Irving Locker on our brand new streaming site, watch.growingbolder.com. Sign up for free today. Welcome back to What's Next. Are you happy? A new Gallup study that measures happiness levels found that Finland is now the happiest country in the world. The U.S., meanwhile, fell from 15th down to 23rd on the new happiness scale. But there is a sharp divide in happiness in the U.S. that's based upon age. People 60 and older in the U.S. report high levels of happiness, among the top 10 countries in the world, while happiness among younger adults and teens is declining. One of the co-authors of the study believes that social media is partly to blame for amplifying, in a non-productive way, issues like climate change, social inequities, and political polarization. Of course, we would all like to lead happier lives, but how the heck do we get there? Well, here are 6 keys that we've learned firsthand from the ordinary people living extraordinary lives that we've produced stories on here at Growing Bolder. I give you Growing Bolder's keys to happiness. Have purpose. Let's start with the lesson we just learned from Irving Locker. Have a purpose. Purpose is a powerful happiness generator. Embrace change. The only constant in life is change. If you fear it or if you fight it, you end up on the couch isolated. Embrace it, use it, grow with it. Change is not always easy, but it is the wave we ride to success and happiness. Stay curious, never stop learning. Saying yes to new experiences and learning new things boosts our confidence and expands our life in countless and unpredictable ways. Be kind to yourself. Stop being self-critical. Stop comparing yourself to others or trying to please everyone. Cultivate a kinder inner voice, one that is your friend and not your constant critic. Find joy in the little things. Noticing good things, however small, helps develop a sense of hope and optimism. Train your brain to see what's good. Gratitude, recognizing what we have or what we have received, is a foundation for happiness. Stay connected. Nurture your relationships with others. Know who you can turn to for support when necessary. All right, that's 6 keys to happiness, but stick around because I have one more, the easiest and maybe the most powerful of all, one that you can easily do today and every day. That's coming up.
I have something to fight for. I know I have people that's gonna want me to continue, want to see me continue to grow.
Welcome back. One of Growing Boulder's core beliefs is that we all benefit from intergenerational connection, the kind of connections we all have throughout our life until we get older, and then it becomes more and more difficult. We have to work to become part of intergenerational relationships, but it is worth it because we all have different life experiences and we can all learn from those younger and older. The more diverse the voices in our lives are, the richer the chorus. One of the best ways to create intergenerational connection and to have a positive impact on younger generations is through mentoring. Our own Cecily Wilson saw this firsthand when she met Chris Baldwin and her husband Greg, who took it upon themselves to start a mentoring program that benefits a statewide nonprofit called Take Stock in Children.
Are you hurting and broken within? Overwhelmed by the weight of your sin.
Jakari Hurst is a high school senior. She sings in her church choir, plays 3 different instruments in the marching band, and plays on the volleyball team. And she now has her sights set on college. But the road to this point was far from easy.
I lost my sister, which last Friday, made it an official year that she passed away. It hurt me a lot. I really never grew up with my dad. I was with my mom. And me not being able to be as close as I am supposed to with my sister, that just did it right there. And I always been the type to hide my feelings. I don't want to feel like I'm putting my feelings burden on anybody else.
But now, Jakari does have someone to share her feelings with. She's a beneficiary of a Florida nonprofit called Take Stock in Children, which pairs at-risk students with adult mentors. Someone to listen, someone to help guide them through their struggles to stay on track at school, en route to earning college scholarships and educational resources. To date, Take Stock has served more than 40,000 students, and it was through this program that Jakari met Chris Baldwin, a resident of the Villages, who has been her mentor for the last 6 years.
The first time we did it, I felt like when I left that was the first time, maybe, I don't know who else was asking her that. I was trying to show her that I cared, and she got that. No matter her reaction, I was just trying to show her caring, and that I was very sincere in caring about it, and I wanted to meet her where she was.
And it's like, oh, she cares, like she's always gonna be by my side, no matter what decision I make, as long as it's gonna benefit me, she's right there by my side.
It's been a great transition from the first time I've met her until now senior year. It's been a wonderful transition to see. She's trying, she's in there trying. She wants to do good. I'm so proud of her, I really am.
Chris and her husband Greg, also a Take Stock mentor, took it upon themselves to give even more to the program. They created a special gathering place in the Villages for these mentors and students to meet, have dinner, and gain more real-life knowledge from the guest speakers in an event called the Learning Lounge.
The mission is really to help the kids navigate the real world after high school in a positive way. And we like to do that through programs that talk about core values and life skills that the schools don't often teach now, and often not in the homes either.
Yeah.
And we want to do it with fun.
It's so wonderful to see these kids working hard and trying to get ahead and being appreciative.
So, Greg Baldwin is your mentor.
Mm-hmm.
What difference has he made in your life in the time that you've been with him?
I can say he's definitely pushed me. I feel like he's really taught me how to be more myself, how to be the more open. He's really showed me that there are a lot of places you can really take, maybe like a tree branch of ideas.
If you weren't participating in this program, what do you think you'd be doing?
I'd be stuck on myself. Like I feel like I wouldn't know where I would be going. Throughout the program, like the dinners tonight, you know, you meet a bunch of different people. You see people that it's like, oh, I don't think I'd ever like meet up with you in person, but this program, it kind of brought people together.
If I wasn't in this program, I probably wouldn't have had this many opportunities that I did have. I have something to fight for. This is nothing that is gonna stop me. Like, I know I have people that's gonna want me to continue, want to see me continue to grow.
In their retirement, the Baldwins have created a lasting legacy that is changing students' lives and also giving retirees a purpose that is changing theirs. When different generations interact, we both benefit. The American Society on Aging says that intergenerational connections improve cognitive function, they increase empathy, and they do lead to happiness and longer lives. Unfortunately, we are now living in the most age-divided society in history. Which brings us to today's bold social clip and some insight and advice from Eunice Lynn Nichols from Co-Generate, a great organization that's dedicated to helping younger and older people work together to solve problems, build bridges, and co-create the future.
We live in one of the most age-segregated societies, and a lot of that was done out of innovation. It was to be more efficient, to be able to have kids in schools and older adults, adults in the workplace, older adults in senior centers, and the cost on us has been great. I think that's contributed hugely to the sense of social isolation, in particular during the pandemic. So it's going to take some effort for us to get proximate with one another. And so go join something. Like, I love that you said it might be a faith institution. It could be through school, a community center, a club, but go join something and get involved. And when you do, it's natural to look for your age peers, but be intentional about actually looking for somebody who might be significantly older or younger than you, because you'll have the most to give to them. And then when you do that, bring humility and curiosity to the table, knowing that you will benefit as much from that relationship as the other person.
Life, as we all know, has no guarantees. We have to dig in. We got to have a certain level of intent, because if we don't, life will push us around. We'll be buffeted about by things that have nothing to do with us. Circumstances will determine what our life is like. The truth that we learn every single day from the ordinary people that we tell stories on: if you dream, if you believe, and if you persist, just about anything is possible. Welcome back to What's Next. Are you following Growing Bolder on Facebook? Please join our more than 1.1 million followers and chime in on our videos, articles, and thought-provoking questions and more. Each week we ask our followers the Your Take question of the week and then share some of the answers right here on this show. We recently asked, what is one memorable random act of kindness that someone once did for you? Vicky says, my friend's parents took me on their family outings. I would say I wasn't hungry at lunchtime because I had no money to buy my own. Somehow, a mistake was always made in the ordering and an extra lunch would just appear. Sylvia says, a very nice young man bought my groceries for me. A cart full, $150. I was speechless. And finally, Mary remembers I was 16, driving on Christmas when my car caught on fire. A family on their way to their own family Christmas pulled out, stayed with me until the firemen finished, then drove me all the way home. I have never forgotten their kindness. And that's the thing about random acts of kindness. They don't necessarily require much time, money, or effort, but their impact is so great that we always remember them. We listed 6 keys to happiness earlier in the show, but I saved one to close with, and that is practice random acts of kindness. Research has found that random acts of kindness can increase happiness and self-esteem, and they decrease stress. So, how do we define random acts of kindness? Any action taken with the primary intention of making someone else feel good while expecting nothing in return. Studies reveal that many of us limit acts of kindness because we underestimate their value. We're not fully aware of their impact. We don't understand the power of a simple smile, a word of encouragement, a plate of cookies, a phone call to check in, or just a thoughtful compliment. And here's another important benefit of random acts of kindness. They are contagious. People who receive acts of kindness are more likely to be kind and generous themselves. It doesn't take much to improve your happiness and that of others, so why not perform a random act of kindness as part of your What's Next? We'll see you next time.